Hey guys, this week we're going to be talking about combining like terms, okay? So simplifying expressions and combining like terms. We're going to go over a few vocabulary words first. The first one is a constant, okay? These are numbers we've been dealing with since you guys were, first, second grade, okay? So it's just one, two, any number that's just by itself, okay? Those are called constants. Variables, we've talked about those over the last month, and those are any letter of the alphabet that represents something that's unknown, okay? A coefficient is a little bit different, even though we've worked with these coefficients when we were solving one-step equations, but really what it is the number that's right to the left of a variable. So if you look right here, the 3 is next to the x, the 2 is next to the x, so these two numbers right here are called coefficients. Okay, so what are like terms? Okay, they're terms that have the same variable raised to the same power, and that's really important to remember. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple examples. So for instance, 4x and negative 3x. The 4 and the 3, the coefficients don't have to be the same. What you're looking for is making sure that the x's are the same, that they have the same letter, and they're raised to the same power. We can imply that there's a 1 above both of those x's. Here's another example, 2y squared and negative y squared. Okay, so both of those have a y and they're both squared. So we can say they're like terms, okay? So all of these, for example, okay? The 2, the 45, the 0, the negative 26, those are called coefficients, but notice that they all have an x, okay? And remember, if there's nothing in front of the x, it's always implied it's 1. So this would be 1x and this would be negative 1x, okay? Here, these are just constants, right? They're a number by themselves and they don't have anything attached to them. And here, these are all like terms because they have y squared, y squared, y squared, and y squared. So that's what you're doing. You're just matching, okay? When we combine them, that's when you will either add or subtract. But for now, you just need to identify what are the like terms, okay? So unlike terms would be this one, for instance, 17x and 17z. Okay, they have different variables, so they're not similar terms. You cannot add them. Yes, their coefficients are the same, but we don't care about those. We're just looking at the variables. Okay, same thing here. These all have y's. However, each one has a different exponent. So we have a 1, a 2, and a 5. So they are not like terms. Okay, remember, like means they have to match. Their variable and their exponent has to match. Okay. Same thing here. See how there's an x, and yes, there's an x here, but there's also a y attached to it. So sometimes they try to explain that or kind of trick you a little bit and show two variables, but they are not the same, okay? So that is an explanation of what like terms are, okay? So now we're going to look at what it is to simplify or to combine like terms, okay? So if you notice, both of these have an x. They both have the same exponent. Therefore, it is 6 plus 2. So all you're actually doing is you're adding the coefficients, okay? The variable, it stays the same, and so does its exponent in this particular case. Here we have to look a little bit deeper, but if you see there's a 4x and a negative 2x, right? So what's 4 minus 2? 2. Okay, then they took the 3y plus the 4y and they got 7y. And that's as simple as it gets. I don't want you guys to think that you have to break it down even further, because when we get to this part, we see there's an x and there's a y and there's no other terms to combine. Okay, never, never combine x's and y's. Okay, it does not work. Do not combine an x and a y. Okay, the other idea is it's kind of looking at it this way if you think about it with animals. 5 cats and 3 cats equals 8 cats, right? So if I said 5c plus 3c, or they used a, I guess, 5a plus 3a is 8a, okay? Think of it like animals. However, here we have 5 apples and 3 oranges. We cannot combine those. They are not the same, okay? 5 apples plus 3 oranges simply equals 5 apples plus 3 oranges. Same here. 5 cats and 3 dogs. We cannot combine those, okay? So you could look at it as 5C plus 3D. It just stays like that. Here's the nice, cute little cat dog, okay? So hopefully you guys are understanding a little bit more about how to identify like terms and then combine them, okay? So this is what our lesson's going to be about this week.